It's day 99 of New Zealand's biggest gap year, in which we have to do 365 activities in 365 days all around New Zealand. So today we decided to relax a little bit. We'll treat ourselves to cake and hot pools at Maruia Hot Pools. Join us at the end of the video, in which I'm going to go over all the comments you guys had when we first published it. See you then.
It's time to hit the west coast of New Zealand. Finally, we are going to one of the most rugged regions there is in the South Island. We've got a long drive today, but luckily there's always reasons to break up the drive, particularly by going to see a waterfall. Here we are seeing Maruia Falls, which is just a short walk. Despite the sign saying it's about 10 minutes to get there, it is literally 30 seconds off the main highway.
Maruia Falls are probably one of the widest and largest waterfalls that we've seen so far on our trip. Most of the waterfalls in New Zealand are usually really tall and narrow, but this one is like a New Zealand version of the Niagara Falls. It's awesome. But our ultimate goal today is to hit the Maruia Hot Springs, which are located on Lewis Pass. It is an amazing drive. Lewis Pass is world known for being one of the most beautiful drives in New Zealand. It goes in between two massive mountains and through stunning beech forest. We really love the drive, and it's only a few kilometers inland that we finally arrive to our destinations.
When we arrive, the first thing that we spot is a great lunch deal for having lunch and hot pool entries. And what's more, we get a stunning window seat where we can look at the views of the Southern Alps while tucking into some delicious wraps and sandwiches.
Although we usually cook for ourselves, today we decided that day 99 is the day when we relax and treat ourselves. Today it's Laura and I me time. So we really go full in treating ourselves, and we get some cake as well. Oh my gosh, it tastes so good. Once we finish our meal, we are shown around a little bit. There is a ton of different hot pools and different areas, and Laura and I really want to test everything and try everything, so we'll make sure to hit each of them one by one. But first, it's time for us to jump into our swimsuits and into the water.
After checking the indoor hot pools, we realized that really outside is where we want to be. It is much grander out here. First up is this weird-ass massaging experience, which is such a weird feeling. I've got boiling hot water pouring onto my back while the mountain breeze is hitting me as well. It is just a total contrast of temperatures here.
While Laura is screaming and kicking during this so-called relaxing experience, I personally really enjoy it. I think it's super relaxing and super soothing, but it really looks like Laura is not enjoying that at all. So we quickly move on and go to the more mainstream hot pools, which are the most relaxing thing ever.
Then we are moving on to the outside hot pools, which are in this really nice natural environment. The water is from a natural mineral hot spring that comes from the other side of the river and pumped into the hot pools. The minerals and the algae are meant to be really good for the skin.
But what I love the most about those hot pools is that we are surrounded by just the mountains. There is almost no buildings around, it's just us, the grand view of the Lewis Pass and the hot water in which we are bathing. It's awesome.
The hot pools are about 40 degrees Celsius, which really starts to cook us every now and then, so it's good to get out, have a bit of a break, and then get back in again. So we start getting changed now because we want to explore more of this beautiful environment that we've been looking at for so long. The receptionist at the hot springs recommended that we go on a walk along the riverbed of the Lewis Pass while the water level is super low.
It's an indescribable feeling walking right in the middle of the river of the Lewis Pass. It's the grandest view I have ever seen in my life, and we feel tiny. I mean ridiculously tiny. The water is super shallow. It's not even ankle deep, but the mountains are super high. They are actually some of the tallest mountains of the Southern Alps. So Laura and I take the time to walk around all those pebble rocks and around the river. We actually spent here much more time than we thought, about a couple of hours, which put us way behind schedule. We are making our way today to the little township of Rifton, which is still a couple of hours away from here. So the drive ahead of us is quite long. So after taking our last few pictures, we hop back in a van and make our way to Rifton, which no one really knows, but it is the town of light in New Zealand, and we have a lot to show you tomorrow.
And there's boiling hot water pouring on me. It's like contrasting feelings that I'm not enjoying. I'm just like, I just want to either be hot or cold. I don't want to be both at the same time. This is just too much of a weird feeling. So to be honest, I'm not enjoying that so much, but once Robin sits down, he's just like, oh, actually, yeah, this is quite relaxing. And this is Robin, that hates massages. So as long as it's not people touching his back, he's okay with some sort of massage.
Alright guys, so as you can see, we got cake, so that's definitely worth a mention. I do always like cake. Anyway, so let's go over the comments that you guys had during the first time we published this video. But first, let me tell you about New Zealand's biggest travel guide, which is called NZPocketGuide.com. It's a website, NZPocketGuide.com. There's a link in the description, and it's free to use. It's the website created by Laura and I, and it is full of information and tips for you traveling in New Zealand. I'm saying that because some of the questions right here, or some of the comments right here, add extra information to this video, and obviously all this information is on the travel guide. We just never really have a lot of time on the video, and they're also done on the fly, so sometimes we do make mistake as well. Alright, so Mr. Biscuit is laughing at the cake part. Obviously I was really happy to get cake. I mean, cake is awesome. Jesse Torres says that he'd love to see us do the Camino de Santiago trek, which is in America. He done it twice and he says that epic. So far we're gonna stick to New Zealand right now, so we're not planning on going to America, but you know, keep on watching. We are gonna be doing some epic walk right here. Why in the World is actually sharing some knowledge right here. He's asking if we did run into some sandflies in the hot pools. Not that many, not as much as you know, we did see in the Nelson Lakes area, so there was a few, but not too crazy. And he says, in our Lake Rotorua video, which was the video from yesterday, day 98, we ask about kind of ways to keep the sandfly away, so he decided to share his knowledge. He says, I just bring heaps of bug spray every time I go near a large body of fresh water. If it's winter, then you can just cover up and you won't see many of them. But really, insect repellent is the only way to go in summer. I think you can get sunblock with insect repellent in it too as well. He says the last time he went to the Maruia pools, which he already went there about 3 to 4 times, he covered up with bug spray and the little mosquitoes were lining up to take bite out of me, but it wasn't as bad as you know, if he didn't have bug spray on. He prefers going to the Hanmus pools usually. So here you go. That's a good amount of knowledge. And yeah, we have an article on NZ Pocket Guide of 7 ways to keep the sandflies away. So you go to nzpocketguide.com and then in the search bar you search sandflies and you'll be sweet. By the way, if you do have specific questions like that, you definitely can put them in the comments of the videos, and we're always happy to answer all your questions. Or you can even join us live every single Sunday at 8 AM New Zealand time, where Laura and I sit on that couch over there and answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand during our live sessions for an entire hour. So it's a fun things to do. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified when that happens. Now we actually do have a good amount of comments for insert clever name here. I do like that nickname, I have to say. Okay, so here's what that guy say. He said Maruia Falls are not in or never near Lewis Pass, which is over another hour's drive further along the State Highway 65. The falls are about 15 minutes drive out of Murchison in Shenandoah, just across the province boundary of the Tasman region. So it's approximately 10-minute drive from the State Highway 65, State Highway 6 turnoff to the west coast. The road stops being State Highway 6 and becomes State Highway 65 until Spring Junction junctions, then State Highway 7 from there. The falls are extremely dangerous and no attempt should be made to swim in or near them. They look deceptively swimmable, but there is a significant washing machine effect circular current beneath them that drowned a young friend of mine a couple of years ago. We're very sad to hear that, but yes, there is quite a few really large falls in New Zealand, which actually kind of, because the water is falling, it kind of like adds a suction effect and people get stuck underneath there. There is a falls near Tauranga in the northern end as well, which is very famous for that as well. So if you hear some warnings, usually just take some pictures and don't go swim. He continues of saying that the Maruia Springs is on the immediate roadside mid-Lewis Pass, about 30-minute drive from Spring Junction on State Highway 7. There is an accommodation and bathing complex located at the location, which is what we literally just talked about. Confusingly for foreigners, the name Maruia is used multiple times at different locations, as well as Maruia itself. It is also the name of the river moving through the area, spread over a distance of about an hour's travel on State Highway 7. There is also some wild hot springs within the nearby Maruia River throughout the region, easiest to find in winter by their steam. The best known are the relatively nearby St. Andrew's Walkway walking route about 30 minutes further into the pass. So I love the fact that insert clever name here shared all his knowledge with us. It's really awesome to actually create this community of people kind of watching a video, adding some information there. So that's why I wanted to read this very long comment all in full, because we actually did check that and pretty much everything is accurate right here. So that's really nice. Anyway, keep on being awesome, people. We love all the feedback, we love all the comments. You guys are phenomenal, people, and we see you in the next video where we're gonna be doing video 100 of New Zealand's biggest gap year. See you then. Bye bye.